Formula One racing has seen a massive ramp up in popularity with Americans, even taking the lead away from NASCAR rallies. And while some race for honor and glory, most of these competitors race for the almighty dollar. In this video, we'll be breaking out the financial side of Formula One racing from all the winners and, of course, all the losers. Stick around till the end, and you might just find yourself a Formula One fan as well. Hollywood's race to F1. When we said F1 racing was getting big in America, we meant it. And like sharks in the water, Hollywood smelled blood and immediately started gnawing at it. From a successful Netflix docuseries to a F1 movie produced by Brad Pitt and Lewis Hamilton himself, Hollywood was cashing in on the rise in popularity. But no other Hollywood celebrity cashed in on this fame harder than Ryan Reynolds, Michael B. Jordan, and Rob McElhenney. These three big-time movie and TV stars all decided to up the ante by buying a combined quarter of Alpine Racing, which amounts to 900 million euros. Alpine Racing is the current underdog of the F1 leagues, both in skill and in popularity. Slotted in the 5th spot of the Constructor Cup standings, you'd be hard-pressed to find an Alpine F1 fan. Either there aren't any, or there just isn't one that's proud enough to say they are. But Ryan Reynolds and his fellow celebrity backers have decided to take it upon themselves to put a new shine on this underdog team. Now, before you go doubting some Hollywood celebrities and their financial decisions, it's important to remember that this isn't Ryan Reynolds and Rob McElhenney's first rodeo when it comes to underdogs. Back in 2021, Ryan Reynolds and Rob McElhenney famously bought and invested in the Wrexham AFC, another underwhelming sports team. Prior to their investments, you couldn't even tell that the team existed.
Wrexham.
Who? But they were suddenly put on the map by Ryan and Rob's star power. Their investment into Wrexham gave the team the resources and the popularity to start making moves. So it wouldn't be a surprise if Alpine ended up the same. But to tell you the truth, Alpine desperately needs it. Alpine has become worthy of their underdog status. They've underperformed in races and have been mismanaged to the ground, leaving them with mediocre staff and facilities. But why is it that such a big F1 team can be leagues behind the top competitors? Well, the answer to that lies in how F1's business model is built: the profit distribution. As entertaining as Formula One can be, under the hood, it's still just a business that's built to make profit. Formula One generates revenue through various streams, primarily from commercial partnerships, broadcasting rights, race hosting fees, and merchandise sales. Probably the biggest revenue stream for the Formula One company would be their broadcasting rights, selling television networks and digital platforms the privilege to broadcast their thrilling races. These deals are often highly lucrative, with networks paying substantial fees to secure the exclusive rights to broadcast Formula One races. All this money coming in is beneficial to keep the company itself chugging along, but the way it's distributed to the competing groups is far from fair. These money distributions are endearingly called columns. So first we have column 1, which represents a set amount distributed equally to all the competitors. That sounds fair so far, but then things get worse when you get to the second column. Column 2 involves distributing profits to teams based on their performance, with the highest ranking team earning a huge chunk, while the lowest ranking teams are fed crumbs of the profit. This means that the Formula One teams that win stay winning, and the ones that lose stay at the bottom with little help to climb to the top. In addition to this, the F1 company also hands out bonuses to the top teams. But to the credit of the F1 company, they have put in some effort to compensate for this pay disparity, but these are just band-aid solutions. One such change included putting a cap on how much you can spend on your car. While this helped make sure all cars were at the same level performance-wise, racing is about more than just the cars. It requires an entire team of professionals and a capable driver to keep a racing team successful. Taking Alpine, for example, this underdog racing team lost one of the best drivers in the game right now due to tensions in contract negotiations, most likely attributed to fund allocation.
Where's the rest?
the money, Skylar. Where is the rest?
And this is exactly why F1 racing teams welcome sponsors and investors with such open arms. Sponsorship deals. After receiving the help of Hollywood stars, Alpine Racing aims to use it wisely, distributing the funds to not just the production of the car and its parts, but also to the team and facilities behind it, putting money towards research, staff, and training facilities to make sure that all assets are covered and situations like Fernando Alonso's don't happen ever again. Every team, big or small, will be thankful to have fantastic sponsors. They can be celebrities, car companies, or even telecommunications brands, all of which get free airtime on the cars and jackets of their drivers. One such racing team that benefited from sponsorships is none other than the Ferrari Racing Team. One of Ferrari's biggest sponsors is the Shell Company, a worldwide British petroleum giant. The trade was simple. Shell gives money to Ferrari, and in exchange, Ferrari makes sure that as soon as the world sees the Shell logo, they instantly think of fast cars and awesome driving skills. The Shell logo was plastered on every car and jacket that Ferrari would use, even finding its way onto merch. While some brands sponsor racing teams, there are some brands that are the racing team. Red Bull, the energy drink that gives you wings, has taken a plunge into the F1 world with their own racing team that's aptly named Red Bull Racing. Cars are fast-paced, fun to watch, and require an inhuman amount of precision and skill, all of which are beneficial to Red Bull's brand identity. But the real winner here is probably Red Bull Racing, due to the simple fact that they won't be running out of sponsors anytime soon, especially considering how their brand is their sponsor. And while some racing teams won the sponsorship lottery, the magic had to end somehow. Just look at Williams Mercedes, a brand that was once at 5th place in the Constructor Cup standings, then immediately plummeted to 10th place after losing their biggest sponsor, Martini. A sponsorship can make or break an F1 racing team, but there's no denying that it needs the help. Sadly, there's also a wealth of so-called sponsors that want to exploit this desperation, which leads us to desperation. Not everyone who wants to give you a big bag of money is your friend. Sometimes there isn't any money there at all. This is exactly what happened in the mid-2000s when a man claiming to be a Nigerian oil prince by the name of Malik Ado Ibrahim made headlines by expressing interest in bringing Formula One racing to Nigeria.
And it's from a Nigerian prince. It says he's got millions frozen in an account. All he needs is $100 grand to pay legal fees, and then as soon as he gets his money, I get $1 million.
The interest led to sponsorship deals with the Aston Martin Formula One team, formerly known as Spiker Formula One team. Malik spoke with a lot of swagger and confidence that was backed by money that wasn't actually there, and teams fell for it because of how much they needed it. But when it came time to cough up money, Malik was shockingly nowhere to be found. Another case of Formula One teams taking the money bait was when the Haas Formula One team accepted a sponsorship deal with a British energy drink company by the name of Rich Energy in early 2019. After the sponsorship deal was signed, it quickly became apparent that Rich Energy actually had no financial credibility, instead choosing to make bold claims about its products and market presence that were met with skepticism by multiple observers. Sadly, Rich Energy was simply removed as a sponsor of Haas and received no further punishment for the blatant scam he pulled. And it looks like Rich Energy still hasn't learned from this blunder, teasing a sponsorship comeback on social media. Thankfully, Formula One racing teams know to think twice now. As hilarious as these blunders may be, they're still just signs of how desperate Formula One racing teams have gotten. Desperate enough to turn towards shady deals just to get enough funding to even stand a chance against the big names in the industry. Only time will tell if and how Formula One can really even the playing field.